The only thing that I would be telling you that you probably don't know is that this person like admires you, like, wishes they were you, wishes they were more like you, wants to be like you type of deal. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing you wouldn't know. But you would have a very clear idea of who this person is in your life, because it's like a very oppressive kind of role that they play, where it's almost like a bully type of deal, or them kind of trying to undermine you in ways or cheat you out of stuff. So I say all of that to say that, hello, Scorpio. I just realized that it's you guys season, and you guys were the last read that I did for October. So hello again, Scorpio. Welcome to your November soul session. I am Marlo if you are new, and if you are family, welcome back, my friend and whatnot, or whatever. If you are not familiar with what my soul sessions are, they are your spirituality as well as personal development readings, in which we're going to look at the energies that you guys may encounter for the given month of November and whatnot, or whatever, for the sole purpose of giving you clarity, insight, and guidance, and all that other kind of good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, let's go ahead and jump right back into you guys' energy, Scorpio, and see what's going on with you guys for the month of November. I'm sorry, I'm shuffling in your ear. I just realized that I try not to do that. Can't help it. Anyway, first card out. Oh, interesting. Coming out of October and into November, we have the Temperance card. That is okay. That is Sagittarius energy. And then we have the Wheel of Fortuna. So what it is looking like, happy solar return, by the way, Scorpios. But what it is looking like, Scorpio, is coming out of October and into November. And I'm pretty sure that this is a couple of things. First thing I was going to say is that this is that good old Saturn energy, as well as this Jupiter energy from October. And that was between the 10th of October up until about the 18th or so. So this is more or less speaking to a transcendence or a balance that has occurred in you guys' life, and a new cycle and or season starting. So one thing I would say that's extremely important is more or less, for some of you, this could be spiritual evolution. This could be the closing out of cycles with other people, but whatever the case, anything that's been kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Because I'm seeing like what you do with meat when you take the excess fat off. So anything that's been kind of like shaved off, anything that's ended, any tower moments that may have happened, it's all for good reason, because whatever it was kind of had your energy off kilter, had you guys out of alignment. And with whatever that is, it's put you guys into a place to where you're either ascending to a higher level spiritually, or you guys are emotionally balanced within yourselves and moving forward. And of course, with the Wheel of Fortune, we're talking about cycles that are wrapping up new seasons, and it's perfect and in alignment with you guys' solar return, because those of you who've been with me for some time, you guys know that I say your solar return is very much like your very own New Year's Eve, if you will. So it's a fresh new cycle of energy that's coming in for you guys already, with it being your solar return. So this energy, in accordance with it coming up and being in you guys' birthday time and in your season, is perfect and ideal for you for any changes that you want to make moving forward. And I say changes of the life-altering variety. The next card that we have is the Queen of Swords. So the thing that I would say that's important, and I'm clarifying this Temperance card just because, as if you guys reading was hard to forget. It really wasn't, being that I got called out in it, but I want to get a little bit more, I don't want to use this deck. I want more specifics into what this is talking about with you guys, because y'all's reading for October was hella spiritual. It was very, very spiritual. But with this Queen of Swords, the thing I think that's extremely important about this, Scorpio, is whatever it is that you guys went through in the month of October, the premise of it is to make you better as opposed to bitter, if that's making sense. So again, it's speaking to keeping into mind, or keeping in context. And if, this is your first time on my channel, welcome. If you did not see the Scorpio reading for last month, I would strongly suggest to go watch that, because it was like hella spiritual. But it's really to keep in mind like a lot of the stuff we talked about in October, because it's of utmost importance in the sense that it's speaking to the energies that were transpiring to kind of set you guys up for this transition. So worst case scenario would be how this would pan out and why this Queen of Swords is here. I don't even know if I showed you all the cards. Let me just show them to you right quick, just in case you didn't see them, since my autofocus is working today. But anywho, but in the event that one is feeling a tad bit embittered or feeling like the situation that you're in at present isn't fair, you know what I'm saying? It's more or less to let you know that everything that happened, it happened for a reason, not, you know, saying that it's like a, you know, empty worded sentiment, but it's more or less there's something that you guys were intended to gain from it. We spoke a lot last month in all of the soul sessions about karmic cycles wrapping up. So this is more or less the period at the end of a sentence of an epic karmic lesson for the entire collective, but specifically for Scorpio. And I know for a lot of Scorpios, because the whole Phoenix rising from the ashes kind of vibe came up last month, I don't doubt for a second that this wasn't something that was literally life altering, if I could say it any other way. And just to kind of throw out with the Wheel of Fortune, this is speaking to fixed sign energy. So that's Taurus, that's Scorpio, that's Leo, as well as Aquarius, if that is relevant to anyone. Oh my. So clarifying, this Temperance card is envy. That's interesting. This kind of shifts this dynamic for me a tad bit. And I can see this two ways, Scorpio. For some of you, this would be speaking to a feeling of discontentment that many Scorpios felt. So it's kind of like whether you're looking on, you know, social media, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, or you're just looking around at people in your life. And this would again be speaking to this past cycle that you guys have come out of. It's comparing yourself to other people, if you will, like kind of seeing how stuff is working out for other people, or feeling like, you know, a person is a bad person and it's like, you know, why is that person getting blessed when they're not a good person? Or, you know, that person is cheating on their spouse, like how did they get this promotion type of deal, and kind of feeling a way about it. But I spoke to you guys again of this unkiltered kind of energy, and focusing too much on something, and whatever you're focusing your attention towards can rob you of your energy if it isn't reciprocating back into you, like the Temperance card. So I feel a lot of feelings of even emotional instability, or, you know, things in your life just not being up to par, beating yourself up or anything of that standard, came more or less from a place of looking to other people, things, or situations outside of yourself, and not necessarily being grateful for where it is that you are, or not being able to get clarity on how to transcend where it is that you guys were up to that point. But again, we're speaking this prior cycle. This isn't where you guys are anymore. Another thing that I feel with this that's interesting is this could be a Sagittarius person. I was about to say female, like that's what I heard in my head, but I said person. So, I mean, it could be either, but this could be a Sagittarius person, female, what have you. And as opposed to you guys feeling that way about people, but this particular person feeling that way about you. But I feel any power or influence that this person had over you up to this point is gone now. And that makes me want to clarify this. Oh, hello. Geez. Interesting. We have Merchant in the reverse. Okie dokie, lemon chokey. So with this particular person, if this is someone that's outside of you guys, this would be a person that had power and influence. It could be a boss, or, you know, something along those lines, a person who had some sort of power or influence over you in this prior cycle. So there would be kind of a severing of ties with that person, or a switch up of power dynamics with this particular person somewhere around the midpoint of October. And that person isn't really someone that you necessarily need to be concerned with. Now with the Merchant, of course, you think of merchant, you think of money. I love sideways cards. You think of money, right? Because a merchant is a person who sells and buys things or whatever. So so in the very literal sense, I feel like I have to say that, like, because I feel whatever this connection is and I don't even know where this would be relevant, but hey, lots of y'all watch, so I'm just gonna say it. But it feels almost like like, say if a person owned a business, because it's like I'm literally envisioning like my mom's bakery, because my mom, she's retired now, but my mom like had a bakery for like my entire life, right? And I think about like the different people that came to like deliver her stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like salesmen from, different companies that would bring flour and sugar and like, different stuff kind of like that. And I'm feeling that kind of vibe. So it's like I don't really know where that's relevant, but that would be kind of like a role that this person plays, like a middleman or something along those lines. And I feel that there's something here where, how can I say it? It's I don't want to say, I'm trying not to say a word that's too strong because I want to say like scammed, but it's not, I don't feel it vibrationally as strong as scammed. It's kind of like if a person had you overpaying for something, because it feels like a person who would be a middleman, like even an insurance agent, you know what I'm saying? And you go to this person as a liaison thinking they're going to give you some sort of a deal, and the person ends up kind of taking advantage or like skimming some off of the top for themselves. Like that's the kind of vibe I feel with this. You know what I'm saying? But all of that would go back again to this envy type of deal of them seeing something. Oh, wow. Them seeing something in Scorpio that Scorpio wasn't seeing in themselves. So it's almost like if like how we were talking about last month, Scorpio, with this whole shadow kind of thing, like the Antichrist and all of that. Not that deep, but saying this in the sense of like kind of like a mirroring effect that happens with a person. It's like the vibe I'm seeing with this, which kind of leads me to believe that this isn't necessarily two different groups. It's more or less like Scorpio and another person that Scorpio may or may not be aware of. But it's like you're admiring this person, oblivious to the fact that this person is admiring you. And I feel the difference with this dynamic is whoever this person is, Scorpio desires what this person has or where this person is in their life, but it's strictly just overt. You know what I'm saying? Like you admire this person for like external kind of stuff, but this person is admiring you for internal kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they would want to be more like you because there's like a light in you, and this person doesn't have that light. Wow, this is the whole message. Scorpio admires this person admires Scorpio. Scorpio is oblivious that this person that they admire actually admires them, right? And why Scorpio is admired is because of their inner light, which is like your God light within yourself, right? So you being like a light into the world is why this person admires you so much. So Scorpio is oblivious to that. The purpose of this past cycle and how it is that it could have made Scorpio bitter, right, is because of either being taken advantage of people like this, like being taken advantage of by people like this, constantly encountering people like this, people taking your kindness for weakness type of deal, or Scorpio witnessing people who they feel aren't like great people, you know what I'm saying? Or people they watch kind of scam people to get to the top type of deal, moving forward in life, if that makes sense. But Scorpio, in the midst of all of this, has been oblivious that all of these people really truly admire them, look up to them, and they have to do like 1,000 times more work to seem like or come off like what Scorpio naturally just is. The purpose of this cycle ending is for spirit, or the not of it ending, but the purpose of Scorpio going through this cycle was spirit trying to for Scorpio to see that within themselves. I hope that this makes sense, y'all, because I'm trying to get this out of my head and make it make sense. But the whole purpose of this cycle was not to beat Scorpio down, not for Scorpio to be taken advantage of just because, but for Scorpio to see what you were seeing in everyone else has always existed in you, right? And it's more or less spirit was just waiting for you to see that. So with this cycle ending, there's no longer a need for these particular lessons to happen anymore, right? Because it's like it served its purpose. So the key is now coming into November for my Scorpios is to allow this experience to make you better as opposed to bitter. So it's more or less how this temperance energy translates into how you guys show up in 3D would be like this Queen of Swords energy, right? So it's not cutting everyone off, right? It's not having 10-foot electrical fence boundaries. It's not having no boundaries whatsoever, right? But it's hearing people out, getting to know people, you know, letting people in to a certain extent. And when you recognize things that remind you of what you learned in this cycle, it's cutting them out, right? So if we have another little merchant person, which is very possible coming into November, if this is a person from your past, or if this is a person who's showing those same kind of scammy kind of snake oil salesman kind of vibes as people that you guys have known once upon a time, it's not like judging a book by its cover, like, oh, they seem like XYZ and cutting them out before they ever get to you. It's like, you know, the merchant like comes to, I don't know if you can see it. Okay, wait, there we go. Yeah. So this is like Scorpio. Wait, I'm trying to get my, all right. And here's like the merchant person and they're all like, hello, Scorpio, right? And it's like, they totally look like a merchant, but truth be told, they're merchant in the reverse. So the moment that you realize that, you chop them out, you know, toss them to the side and you keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Now, why this is important is this world card and why it came out sideways, because that's how I look at all of these cards that come out sideways, is that this is a statement of the fact that there is no longer any unfinished business with this particular cycle, lest one chooses to, right? Because whenever a card comes out sideways, to me, you want to look at the light and the dark aspects. So this again goes back to what it is I was telling you guys in all of the soul sessions last month, which is the fact that, yes, this cycle is over, right? The energy is clear. However, the only way that we can recreate the past again is if our mindset doesn't change, meaning that as opposed to us allowing this experience to make us better, we allow it to make us bitter, right? Then we draw in more of this, or, you know, this comes in and we still let this into our space and we thus repeat the same cycle that we got out of. But if one is perceptive, understanding of what it is that they've come out of, you implement boundaries, you approach things from more of a balanced sense and don't allow fear to control how it is that you're navigating moving forward. It's like a is not is paradigm switch where you're coming into an energy because the cycle's cleared up. So the is not has to manifest before the is. We all know this, right? So when this is not manifests to create a void or to create the space for it, is making sure you don't get sucked up into it or fall back into old behaviors and think, I thought everything changed. I thought this was a new cycle. This is my birthday month. How is this kind of stuff happening, right? So it's more or less a switch of energy. So to keep that in mind. But if we fall back into an old mindset, then we can in turn repeat the cycle, thus recreating the past and the present and thus into the future. But this world card is yet another confirmation for you guys. And that's Saturn energy, by the way, with the world card, along with the same fixed signs from the Wheel of Fortune. So it's both Jupiter and Saturn energy that's speaking to this shift that has transpired. So the personal responsibility that Scorpio has this month is more or less in October. You guys were the phoenix, you know, rising from the ashes. And the key is to not put yourself back in the fire, to not go back to being just the ashes. And regardless of what happens going forward in the month of November, to remember that you're the phoenix, if that's making sense. And then I told you guys last month, and I feel like I have to say it again, that, you know, 11/11 is a portal day, and that's going to be an important day for you guys this month as the freaking Six of Wands comes out. So here's the dealio, my friend. I feel that literally, if we were to look at this time wise, this literally what I'm seeing with this merchant and this Queen of Swords here, where this is kind of like you guys making an energetic stance and action in the vibration of the energy that you guys are coming into the month with, right? So being this balance, having transcended this timeline, knowing that this is a new cycle, embracing it, you know, path is clear to follow through, clean slate, what have you, you know, learning my karmic lessons or in the process of deconstructing them so that you can learn them. That's more or less within the first week of November. Now, when we start to get into like the midpoint of the month, so like somewhere around like 15th going on forward, that's when you start to see the true manifestation of this cycle. So, and that's understandable as well, because y'all know Mercury went direct on the 18th too, when of October, when Jupiter went direct on the 18th as well. So, you know, there's like a pre-shadow phase, and then there's like, you know, post-retro shade. Post-retro shade ends on the 2nd of November. So this is literally kind of like residue energies that you guys may experience like in the first week of November up to like maybe the 6th. So like between, you know, the 31st up until the 6th, which is I don't even remember what we said in y'all extended last month, y'all. But those of y'all who are members or bought the extended, go back and look at what we said for the 6th week of October, because we went into the week of the 31st of October into the 6th of November, because I can't remember what I said, but I feel like I said something along the lines of this and how to not get, oh yeah, it was, I can't remember what I said verbatim, y'all, but I'm feeling the energy of it. It was, I talked about this, like I forewarned y'all about this, of how this is kind of like a hiccup or something like that. And that's just like residual energy. You know what I'm saying? But once we come out of that week, that's when the manifestation of what it is that you guys were calling in and what this cycle ending symbolizes comes in. So this is like a dark distraction. So be careful for that, because, and I said that to another sign last month too, you want to be cautious of that, because it's like a temporary hiccup that is almost like, look, see, ain't nothing changed. You was sitting up here thinking like, oh, you know, on this day, everything gonna shift for me. And look, it's the same stuff. Here come this person, da, 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 da. You know, you don't want to get caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? You're equipped. Look, we have the 9 of Cups in the reverse. This is picking up to me again on this energy of this person, y'all. I don't know who this person is. I hope y'all know who this person is, but it's picking up on this energy again for me, because this really feels like a, and I hate to say it like this, y'all, because I don't think that we should celebrate, you know, when other people like get their karma, so to speak. But the vibe I feel for this, going back to the energy with this merchant person, like if this was a person who played some type of oppressive kind of role in your life, like a boss or something, or like I said, if it's like some type of middleman, like with your business or something like that, it's like it's picking back up on this envy energy for me with this 9 of Cups type of deal, to where this person was hella envious, and envy can be extremely dangerous, y'all, because there's a difference between jealousy and envy. Because with jealousy, and actually jealousy can be transmuted, right, to be like a motivation for us, because jealousy is just a statement that within ourselves there's something another person has that we desire. So it's like your inner self or your higher self telling you, hey, you can do that. You can get that degree. You can have a car like that, or, you know, you can be married. You can, you know, whatever. You can be a parent, like whatever it is, right? So it can be transmuted and used for good if we transmute it to turn it into a motivation, right? Which says like, man, I'm so jealous that they got that new, Benz or whatever, and instead of sulking over it and feeling bad and thinking about, oh, that's so not fair, you can take that energy and transmute it by saying, they're paying a car note or they paid cash for it. They, work really hard at their job to get that particular car. And if I want a Benz, then I'm going to work really hard to get that too. So you can use it as a motivation. Now, where envy is different than jealousy is because envy is seeing another person have something and you wanting what they have and wanting them to not have it. So it's a lot more like malicious intent because it's like you wanting that other person to like suffer, right? So it's like you have a Benz, like I want to steal your Benz and have your Benz and you not have a car. Like you have, a husband or a wife. I want to steal your husband or your wife, have them be mine and you not have it. And you have to see me have your husband or wife. Like that's the vibration that envy operates in. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel for this particular person, for those of you where this resonates heavily in a sense of a person, and this would not be like a hidden enemy or anything like that. Whoever this person would be to you guys, this would be a person that y'all are fully aware that this person don't like you very much. The only thing that I would be telling you that you probably don't know is that this person like admires you, like, wishes they were you, wishes they were more like you, wants to be like you type of deal. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing you wouldn't know. But you would have a very clear idea of who this person is in your life because it's like a very oppressive kind of role that they play where it's almost like a bully type of deal or them kind of trying to undermine you in ways or cheat you out of stuff, So I say all of that to say that with this 9 of Cups in the reverse, more or less this victory that comes for you guys or this shift. So if we look at this as like a test, like say this person tries to challenge you in some way, shape, form, or fashion, or tries to come back into the fold, and you guys stand your ground in this new temperance energy, like your higher truth, then you're going to be victorious. But with this person, like I was saying, I don't think we should necessarily celebrate when people get their karma. You know what I'm saying? But you got free will, you do you. You know what I'm saying? But I feel there's gonna be something that you guys witness. And I think like the true testament of healing in reference to this is this person losing what they have. You know what I'm saying? Because it comes into this whole thing, and here we go, Scorpio, with y'all stuff being all deep. That quote that says that pride comes before a fall. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like this person having a false sense of security and their like suppression of you, right? Those of you who know about the little cloak thing, this is like, this after the wheel turns, right? So it's like this person being successful in suppressing you in some way or undermining you or taking from you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But the only thing that was required to stop the power that they had over you was for you to stand in your truth, right? To be better as opposed to bitter, to not let your experiences mar you. And because in the midst of this is not that occurs in the first week of November, you stand your ground. Now you get the physical manifestation of the cycle being closed. Thus, you get some form of victory. With this particular person, whoever they are, it's more or less the rug gets pulled from under them. They get exposed. They get revealed. People realize like the role this person has been playing in some way, shape, form, or fashion. You know what I'm saying? But I'm clarifying this just because I'm a little, I just don't like how that feels. You know what I'm saying? As far as how this person feels, I'm not necessarily a fan of it per se, but it's more or less your oh child doctor. Oh man, that's it's one of these situations, and this is why I say, y'all, like, here's my thing. I'm not trying to be on any type of soapbox or like moral high ground or anything, right? But it feels like one of these things where well, not one of these things, but it's actually like a scripture that says I will make you know, your enemies, your footstool type of deal. And I don't see that in the vibration of like, you know, spirit is just like, you were mean, wagging my finger, punish, punish, punish. I don't see it like that. It's like I told you guys last month, we are all the authors and heirs of our actions. So there's no need for spirit to punish us when every day we're making choices that allow us to punish ourselves. And I feel for this particular person, this is the byproduct of their choices. So it's more or less this cycle ends. And like, again, like I told you guys in October, those who were, you know, first will be last, those who were last will be first. This is Scorpio always being last, and you were last for this entire cycle, right? You learned a lesson from it because spirit makes good out of, you know, terrible situations. Now you're first, you know what I'm saying? New manifestation is not comes in. You need to stand in the is in the opposition of it, right? So you need to stand in truth in the face of, you know, opposition, fear, darkness, whatever it is you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? So now you've made a testament of that truth into the 3D realm. Now the cycle really shifts. You get a tangible evidence of something that was hoped for, right? And the same exact thing happens to this person. The cycle shifted for this person. They had an opportunity to be able to do the right thing or to stand in their truth and the highest version of themselves. They elected not to. Now this person has to witness your victory, and people, everyone seeing what it is that they tried to prevent people from seeing or keep people from knowing or prevent you from achieving, whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? And now they have to inherit the harvest of the seeds that they sowed, like their actions. Now, I say all of that to say, to be a disclaimer or a precursor to what it is I'm seeing with this doctor card, which is for a lot of you, this person could really end up becoming like sick. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the reason why it's like I really feel this vibe of like, because of course, saying all that I'm saying, we're constantly planting intention seeds. It's like you don't want to laugh at people in situations like that or be ha ha ha, I told you so type of deal. Because granted, it's the byproduct of a person's choices. But I just feel for you guys moving forward, again, being a person of integrity, standing in your truth, you know what I'm saying? Aligning with your higher self. It just isn't good business for you energetically. You know what I'm saying? To be like, hey, 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 hey. Not saying that Scorpios would do that, but you know, I'm just throwing that out there as a forewarning. You know what I'm saying? Because if we get into that vibration, we can end up falling into our own ego and then thus recreating this cycle in a different shade of gray, if that's making sense. You feel what I'm saying? Because a true testament of healing for us is when someone who harmed us, hurt us, maimed us in some way, shape, form, or fashion, like I talked to y'all about forgiveness and all of that, it's like when you've truly released a person, even if something like this were to befall their life, you wouldn't feel no type of way. Like you would be indifferent. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be like, that's what they get. That's what they deserve. And then you wouldn't necessarily be like, oh my gosh, let me take care of you. Like it would just be a sense of indifference, you know, where you don't really feel anything one way or the other. It's just like, oh, wow, you know, that sucks. That's bad. But I feel with this dude is this person getting sick, dude. Who? That's very specific. That's very, very specific. Hold on. Oh, child. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. All right. Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah. Hold on, Scorpio. Un momento. I don't want to speak too soon. We have the Page of Cups that came out, and then we have the Five of Wands that came out after that, by the way. That's hella specific. Oh, wow. Okay. All righty. Okay. I love you guys, Scorpio. I love y'all. I love y'all so much. I love how your readings are just so deep. I get it. All right. So here's the thing here. If I were to say that with this second week, I honestly can't see this being anything else other than what I said. And this is just me being honest. Of this person getting sick in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And the only other way that I could see this dude, if it's not an actual physical sickness, I mean, we could say something intangible, maybe, and not even saying that in the sense of like mental health kind of stuff. It really feels like a physical manifestation in the body is what I feel with this. It would really be a physical manifestation in the body. But the whole thing with this is where I'm kind of concerned with these next cards that come out, and why I feel like I've spent so much time with explaining to you guys about like laughing at people for their karma and stuff, is because I still see this whole shadow dynamic in this, right? Which kind of brings us into what we talked about last month, like how I got called out in the Scorpio reading, right? And Scorpio is Taurus's opposite sign and vice versa. You feel me? And the thing that's important with this is there's this mirroring thing that's happening, just like I said in the very beginning with you and this other person, right? It's like two sides of one coin. So you and this person have something in common in some sense or another, but it's almost like you guys being the same archetype, and all archetypes have a light aspect and a shadow aspect. It's like being the same archetype and one person choosing to be, you know, of the light, and another person choosing to be shadow aspected, hypothetically, right? Why I feel like I have to keep warning you guys with this, and I don't know what this is, dude. There's a lot of 5D stuff that keeps coming up. It's like it's something happening energetically where it's very much aligned with choices. We can fall into, you know, darkness, and I'm using this, you know, just figuratively speaking. We can fall into darkness, we can backslide, we can fall into bad behaviors. That's normal. It happens to all of us. But the key is to choose again, like when you recognize, whoa, that was a jerk move of me, or oh, that's what I used to do. I'm trying to turn away from that. It's like you recognize it, and then you know, modify your behavior. Where I feel this energy in this midpoint of November is very reminiscent, and why I think this is so important is because I was saying the 11th is a very important day for you guys, which is why I feel like this is coming up, is because this is like a repeat of the first week of November. So where I talked about is not is, right? It's like you come out of this cycle, is not manifest, you need to stand in your is, then the is not clears out and you're able to step into the is. It's almost as if this is happening again the next following month. I mean, not the next following month, the next following week. It's like this is happening again. So this is almost like hearing something, or this person coming up to you in the same energy, right? But it's almost like the next following week, it's like this person being in some space of like brokenness or like loss, right? And like I'm saying, like sickness, I really feel like physical sickness, but not like, I mean, and depending on, you know, a person's life circumstance, this could be anything from, if you're older, like, you know, actual diagnosis of like, you know, cancer or diabetes, or, you know, something along those lines. Or it could just be a person being in a really bad place, whether it's a dark place, like bringing it into mental health stuff. But I really feel this is a physical manifestation. And the only other way I could see this outside of it being something like body sickness type of deal is that it being like maybe sickness of the heart, losing a relative, loved one, finding out someone in their inner circle is kind of ill or something like that. But I have to stress, with however it is that this manifests, it's important to still stand in the same integrity that you did prior to. And I feel this is even more important because it's almost like this could suck you in. Like if you were to fall into this energy, like just looking at this 9 of Cups in the reverse, the intention for you all is this, like it's new cycle, victory, 9 of Cups type of deal, right? But in comes this energy of this other person, them being in this energy. And this is really weird. Like I keep going hella slow while I'm saying this, y'all, because as I'm seeing this, I'm trying to make it make sense in my head to get it into words. And it's like, even what I'm seeing is like, I ain't never seen nothing like this before type of deal. But it's almost like it's a stronger octave of it. And I don't even understand why that would be happening. Because if I were to use the word test, it's almost like this is like practice test and this is the actual test, and someone thinking the practice test was the test, not knowing that there was another test and showing up at class, and this is like, oh, this is the real final exam type of deal. So, but I feel why it's showing up as the 9 of Cups in the reverse, because it's like it's not just testing logic and me being able to apply coping skills and what I've learned. This is almost like a test of the heart, of like seeing where your heart really is, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like if you were to hear, you know, something happens with this person, whether they're sick or they got into, I don't know, like a car accident or sprained their ankle. I mean, it could be a myriad of different things, or something happens to someone that's close to them. It's almost like this thing is showing up in the exact vibration of what would look like judgment or a punishment from spirit. I hope y'all following me. The way this thing is showing up, like whatever this is that happens, like in the midpoint of the month, right? This is going to look like God is punishing this person. It's going to look like that, right? But I'm telling you, how this person got into whatever the situation is just a byproduct of choices. You feel what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, God is punishing them. The reason why, the thing I just heard Spirit say is ego. Why I said with this that pride comes before a fall is because this person fell into pride and then had a fall. And I'm hearing that for some of these people, literally, like them trying to do something that they really didn't know how to do because they let their ego get the best of them type of deal, right? So that happened, but this has nothing to do with you directly. This is just a byproduct of their choices. However, this energy is showing up for you guys, right? Because you went through your victory, you had your victory, you had something to look forward to, like you were successful, bam, like you're feeling really good. And an energy is coming in as a temptation to tempt you into pride, if that makes sense. So the same thing that this person is getting the consequences of their actions, a very like energy is coming up to test you guys because you're in a good place. And when we are in a really good place and stuff is working out for us, it's very easy to fall to pride and ego. And I think the reason why I've spent so much time on this and why I'm stressing it is because this says to me, like with the 11th, with this being a portal, right? So this is like how it is that we're setting intentions and stepping into a situation, even if we were to look at it like in the vein of like new moon energy, because the new moon is on, what is that, the 4th of November, and it's the new moon in Scorpio, y'all birthday season. You got a lot of power right now. It's like y'all could plant like some super, you know, dope GMO is gonna reproduce real fast type of seeds right now, okay? But the thing is this is kind of like a forewarning of it's very understandable and very easy as to why one would be like, ha, 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 ha. If something happened to a person that was causing you like pain, hurt, whatever, you know what I'm saying? However, you've made a commitment to being a person of integrity, of being a person of light, of being in alignment and living in accordance with that, right? Granted, we do make mistakes, but the thing is crossing this threshold, this is almost like, how are you starting this new cycle of your solar return post Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, freaking Mercury direct? You know what I'm saying? Like going into this new energy for 2022, how are you crossing this threshold as which person? That's why I spent so much time on this, because it feels almost like a overconfidence one could fall into, and then once again repeating the same thing all over again, if that's making sense. So if I were to put that in simple terms, it would be like, stay humble. You know what I'm saying? Stay on your path, stay doing what you're doing, stay focusing on yourself, stay humble. Don't get caught into that, even if it's people who are gossiping, because that's what I'm seeing with this 5 of Wands here. You know what I'm saying? Because the Page of Cups this is a new seed that's being planted, a fruit of your heart, if you will. And it's more or less, how are you going to go forward into this? Because another thing that's important is looking at this King of Cups, how it is that I see kings in tarot, which is vastly different than how I see like the Emperor, right? You know how like most people look at the Emperor like a bunch of like all the kings put together. Each suit is a different form of human will, right? I don't see kings as balanced, right? They're not masters of anything except for one particular arena. You know what I'm saying? And everything else is off balance. We're coming in with Temperance, and there's the potential of leaving out with the King of Cups, either light or dark side. The key is emotional mastery in this sense of not falling into pride. You feel what I'm saying? And how one would fall into pride is being emotionally wounded from this person or other people, bitter as opposed to better. And now the seeds that are being planted moving forward, every idea that's done is done in this vibration or this energy of, I'm not enough, chaos, conflict, I'm not standing in my power, but then I'm feeling justified in it because these people hurt me. And this would be the scenario of how it is that we can recreate that past cycle in the new one. You know what I'm saying? Because energies are so insidious, dude. It's like you can recreate something you just come out of, but this looks absolutely nothing like what it is that we talked about last month. Notice that. Last month, it was a very easy to see power dynamic, like Christ, Antichrist. You know what I'm saying? And what this is looking like to me, what could happen is a role reversal, where this is like, a person, and I'm saying this hypothetically, like a person who's abused becoming like an abuser and feeling that it's right to do that because this person did XYZ. I have every right to do that. You feel what I'm saying? And if I put this in simple terms, so I can let y'all go, y'all, because I know that this reading is so long. But anywho, if I were to put this in a simple action of what this would look like, and not saying this is everyone's situation, but this is just hypothetical. You and a coworker, y'all are working together. They're stealing all of the credit for stuff that you worked on, right? And in spite of all of this, it's like Scorpio just still stayed strong and was like trusted and believed like this is gonna work out. I'm not gonna skimp on my work. I'm gonna keep doing me, going up my chain of command, whatever, right? Now, this particular person, right? Like say this like your employee, they're like shift supervisor, and then you got a boss or something like that, right? So now something happens to where this person gets, their mom gets sick or they get sick or, they break their ankle, they can't come to work or whatever. They need someone to step in now as shift supervisor. Your boss is like, you're perfect, you're ideal. Bam. Now you're in this position. So now this person comes back to work hypothetically, and they can't work at the full capacity, so they can't maintain the supervisor position. So now you're their boss, right? So now with you having the position of power, now the dynamics have changed. Last month, this person had power over you. Now you have power over them. How are you going to wield that power? Are you going to use it to make this person feel everything that they made you feel? Or are you going to wield it with integrity? That is the question. I really wish Spirit would tell me these things just up front, y'all, so I could just, all readings would be like, bam, this is what's happening. But that is not the case. But that's exactly what it is that I'm seeing here. And I hope and pray that that makes sense, Scorpio. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to pull an oracle card for you guys. Whoa, or several. You can't. How many is this? 4. Okay, 4. First one says, you probably can't see it that well. Okay, you can sort of kind of see it. Creative project. It says your soul longs to express itself in creative ways. We're guiding you to infuse artistry and creativity into your life. Creative expression makes you feel alive and excited and reignites passion towards your life. If this reading is an hour long like the last one, y'all, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Then we have noticed the signs. Yes, the signs you've been receiving are heaven sent. We drop feathers, coins, and other signs upon your path to remind you that you're loved and never alone. Then we have entrepreneur. And it says self-employment suits your disposition and intentions. Working for yourself allows you to better follow your intuition and divine guidance. We are your co-workers and teammates. We remain loyally by your side to ensure your success in all ways. And lastly, we have steady progress. Slow and steady wins the race. We acknowledge you for the progress you've made in remembering love in your daily activities. We can clearly see the contribution you're making to the world through your thoughts, feelings, and actions of love. And I feel this is the absolute most important thing, Scorpio. It's the fact that if you consider yourself a child of light or a child of God or a light worker or whatever the case, whatever term it is that you use, the whole purpose of what it is that we're here for is to operate in love. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't mean that we have to let our boundaries be, violated or whatever. But just like I said in the video I have up on the channel about forgiveness, watch that if you haven't. It's when you forgive, you release. You know what I'm saying? And you allow spirit to deal with things, but you don't want to sully up your energy by, succumbing to the same things that this person is getting their comeuppance for, if that's making sense. I hope that this made sense, Scorpio. But anywho, I'm going over to my network to do you guys extended and Vimeo and Patreon and YouTube members and all the places that I am to do you guys extended, where we are going to look at these energies play out week by week through November. And we're also going to do a sneak peek into December. So if you're about that life, follow me on over there. But if not, I still love your freaking face. And I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends.